Hello, and welcome to Brit Reviews It All. And today I'm going to be discussing Chucky, the TV series. This is season 2, and I am on episode 6. Um, I am behind, so I do need to catch up because they have already did episode 7. So episode 6, this one is called He Is Risen. Now they pick up on this one where we have um they show where Andy have to go all the way back to go to the beginning, season two. Andy, he crashed the truck. Now we get what happened after the crash and the explosion. So in between the crash and the explosion, apparently Andy was still alive and a few of the Chucky dolls were still alive. So you have the bald headed Chucky, which is the Kernel. He had two other Chucky dolls pull and drag Andy's body to take it to a place. And then the truck exploded. So we get the insight on like what happened with that and how some of the Chucky dolls were still alive. Now, after that happens, we come back to current and the Kernel, or as I like to call him, bald headed Chucky, he pretty much doesn't care for the original Chucky. Like he feels like that Chucky has just completely gotten off the rails of what their goals were. So he just absolutely hates him. Now we find out that basically from when the truck explosion happened, they have been holding the Colonel has been holding Andy and keeping him, torturing him for over a year. That was an icky scene for me to watch. Oh, I mean, the sound of flesh and to see him picking and disgusting. But anyway, so Andy has been getting tortured for a year. Now, Dr. Mixter, she has been helping the Colonel. We've gathered that. I'm still trying to figure out where I was still trying to figure out where she comes in as to what is her relation to the Colonel or Chucky. But they do reveal this, so I'll get to that part um, in a minute. But yes, so she's helping, and it just kind of helps kind of explain a lot of the things that was going on in the school with the kids. Now, she called the Colonel Charlie, so I'm like, okay, so it's not the Chucky dolls, they called him the Colonel. He's the head honcho. And then she calls him Charlie. I'm like, okay, so keep that in mind. Now, right after they do that little intro with Dr. Mixter, the Colonel, and all of that, then we get the insight as to what their connection is. So she was actually his therapist when he was a child. Now we are talking about the real original Chucky, okay? She was his therapist when he was at the school as a kid. So she's had that connection since then. Okay, so that's that. Now, the Colonel, bald-headed Chucky, he has basically, like, he hates everybody. He wants them all dead. He wants the kids dead. Eventually, he's going to do something with Andy. He wants the original Chucky dead. What was that about? Sorry, y'all. I had an alarm set, and I don't even know why. But let me turn it off. Okay, sorry. Now, he wants everybody dead. He's at the point where he's like, I want to do it myself. Take me to the school because I want to get rid of them myself. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. Now, at this point, Lexi and Devin, they are still outside of the little cabin house watching the interaction. And I feel that Dr. Mixter, she kind of caught them a little bit because when she turned, I think they ducked down too late. So I think that she actually saw them. She didn't say anything, so I'll get to that part when I get to that part, but she didn't say anything. She kept talking to the Colonel. I hate a Chucky. She kept talking to him. So that was that. Now, when the Colonel finally tells Dr. Mixter, take me to the school. I want to finish this out personally. Let's go. I don't think, if I recall, I don't think she actually wanted to take him, but she did what he asked. So they left. Now, once they left, Lexi and Devin snuck into the cabin to retrieve Andy. He was a little bit out of it, which I can totally understand. You've been held captive for freaking over almost a year or over a year. We don't know the exact number, but we'll just say a year. Who knows what all the Colonel has been doing to him? Who knows? So he's a little bit like just kind of out of it for a second. So they get him together, untie him. They're like, come on, we need to go. We need to get you out of here. He's like, take me to Chucky. Okay? That's all he want to know. Take me to Chucky, which for them, that means taking him to their school, which is, we're getting there. But yeah, so that's that. Now, this sister Ruth lady, oh my goodness, y'all. She is basically so out here with it that she is like literally doing whatever Muscle Chucky tells her to do. Okay, so she's massaging feet. She's doing whatever he told her to do. That's what she's doing. So she's like has this thing with him now. She thinks he's Jesus, the Lord, our Savior Christ, whatever she calls him. She thinks that's who he is. Hence the title, He is Risen. So that's that. Okay. Keep that in mind. Now, while those two were having their little interaction, Sister Ruth and Muscle Chucky, Dr. Mixter and the Colonel arrived. And it was like this instant like thing. So Muscle Chucky looked out the window and saw that he was there. And then you have bald headed Chucky down there saying, I thought he was dead. Oh, and they realized, okay, so there's more to the dolls to where they don't just die just like that. Like you really gotta really, 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 really kill them in order for them to die. And he's like, I'm gonna take care of myself. This is the Colonel talking. Now, mind you, the other Chucky, good Chucky, he's above and he's in the window waving like, hey, hey. And the Colonel is down there like literally talking crap like, I'm gonna kill the both of them. And so Muscle Chucky, they flip back to him. He's throwing him the middle finger. And I'm just like, that was so freaking hilarious, which is why I love the Chucky series. The movies have, the funny parts to it as well, but the series has been completely mixed with comedy and horror kind of together, and I like it. But anyway, super funny. So they come right on in. Now, let's see. The school is about to go on lockdown because Father Bryce, he realized that the kids are sneaking off the campus, which he's actually talking about Lexi and Devin. So he's like, they're sneaking off and they know they're not supposed to. After certain hours, you're supposed to be in your room and go nowhere else. So when he realizes that this is going on, he's putting the school on lockdown. Okay. Now, let's see. Now, while he's in the process of getting that all together, Dr. Mixer is coming in with bald-headed Chucky and the Colonel. Okay, if I say bald-headed Chucky, y'all know who I'm talking about. So, comes in with the Colonel, and she purposely wanted Jake to see her with the doll. She did, because at this point, Dr. Mixer's like, it don't even matter no more, because this is y'all last night, because he done told me to bring him up in here. All of y'all about to die. So she don't even care. Now, this is when he comes to the realization, like, Dr. Mixter actually knows about Chucky. It's not like, oh, I use these for my therapy sessions. It's really like, he like, nah, you know Chucky. You know about him. So he's putting two and two together. Now, Father Bryce, he's going around locking everybody in their rooms. I was kind of like, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because I feel like regardless of what Chucky needs or wants to do, he's going to find a way to do it. Um, so that's what's going on now. In the process of him doing that, getting everything going on lockdown, in walks Lexi and Devin. So they're coming in. They're bringing Andy along, and they have the perfect alibi. Um, Basically saying, using religion to get them to be like, oh, they were lost. They felt like they found someone. They found this man in need, and they decided that it was a sign to that they needed to come back to bring this man back to the holy chapel or whatever. But they had the perfect fake story for Father Bryce where he was kind of torn. On one end, he was like, we're going on lockdown, like we don't need to be bringing nobody in. But then at the same time, they're like, the other sister, which I forget her name. I can never remember her name, and that's so sucky, but I just can't. But I'm going to remember it because she's going to be coming up more. She's going to have more scenes. But she's pretty much like, you can't turn anyone away. Like, that's not a part of our religion. That's not a part of what we do here. Like, we have to take this man in and tend to him, with whatever he provides, shelter, provide food, water, just something, some kind of assistance. They have to do that. So he's just like, but Father Bryce, you can't tell the man no. So that was that. So now she takes Andy off to go tend to him, and then Father Bryce is like, get to your rooms because everybody's on lockdown. So he sends them off. Now, as this is happening, Dr. Mixter comes across Devin and Lexi as they're going to their rooms. And she pretty much basically like confirmed that she did actually see them out at the cabin. And I was like, okay, I knew it. Basically, like, he's gonna kill you all. Like, that's pretty much where she was at with it. Like, I'm like, okay, well, Dr. Mixter, at this point, she doesn't care. She wants them all to know. And I'm like, okay, are you trying to give them a heads up? Or are you, like, really just, like, that, feel like you're that much of a bad A that you don't care? So, okay. So, we're gonna see. Let's see. Now, they do flash over to Glenn and Glenda's, just kind of getting updates on them. So Glenn sent Glenda a picture of the See the Chucky doll, which is basically them. So and they had a dream. When they dream, they both have the same dream. So she sent the picture. At this point, she goes and sits down with it's Andy's sister. I am terrible with names. I do not remember her name. But if I say Andy's sister, y'all know who I'm talking about. Okay? So she's still with her. They still have Anika. Okay? And they had a moment where Andy's sister wanted to talk to Chucky. So Anika was like, yeah, you know what, do what you gotta do. They brought him out. And he flipped it to where he wanted Glenda to kill Andy's sister. And she was like, no. And she told Andy's sister, hurry up and bring a nigga back. And they popped him. She pops back in. So I'm wondering exactly what is going on there to where Glenda is hesitant to get rid of Andy's sister. Like, what is the whole plan here? Obviously, or I'm hoping that within this season that we'll get the full details. Now, going back over to the school, Devin, he gets a hold of Jake, so he's able to give him the update. Because they're being locked away in their rooms. Now, good Chucky, he has still been in with Jake this entire time, so he's in there as well. Now, Jake is pretty much at the point where he's like, y'all, we can either sit here and wait and just let it be what it is, or we can get prepared. We can get ready to fight. Okay, we can get ready to fight. We can get ready to, let's get ourselves together so we can handle this once and for all. And I feel Jake on that. Let's not sit around and wait. Let's do what we got to do. Get rid of Chucky. I mean, he's a doll for Pete's sake, but I'm just saying. Now, Jake and Devin, they do make up, kind of, sort of. Now they are concerned because there was a part where there was like this fly in the room, and it was kind of just flying around, everybody's nerves. And then all of a sudden, the good Chucky, he, like, I think it was a pen he had in his hand or a pencil, and he threw it, killed it right on sight like that. And they was like, he didn't throw, and they both noticed that he didn't throw it when he killed the fly. And it was like, okay, we don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm thinking not good, because that means that he could be converting back to his old ways. So he might not be so good Chucky. After all, it's still some evil within him. Now, Andy, he's in the nurse's room, in the nurse's office, so he's being taken care of. Um, at this point, he's pretty much waiting for old girl to leave, the sister. I'm gonna look her name up. I promise I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna have her name on the next review that I do. I'm gonna have it down. I'm gonna get it right. But when she finally leaves, he finds, like, I think it was a pair of scissors, and he hides it, so that he can have it with him to help him kill bald-headed Chucky. Now, you have Sister Ruth. She's trying to talk to Father Bryce and basically trying to tell him, like, she has muscle Chucky, by the way, and she's like, he's real. The Lord has risen. He has come back to us through him. And it's like, obviously, Father Bryce, he thinks that she's a Looney Tune. Like, he's just like, girl, you lost your mind. Like, you're like out of it. Like, you need to go to your room. Like, sorry. But yeah, so he basically was just like, girl, I can't. Like, you need to go to your room, because we just not doing that. Like, he thinks she's bat crazy, okay? Um, Now, finally, we get the face-off between Muscle Chucky and Bald-Headed Chucky. Now, those two, they were talking their jibber jabber, saying a whole bunch of funny stuff, okay? Because Muscle Chucky was getting Bald-Headed Chucky, okay? But in the mix of him doing that, see, one thing about the Kernel is he's not just no dummy. So he knew that Muscle Chucky had the muscles to the strength to take him on, even though good Chucky got with Muscle Chucky, and we remember that. But instead of actually fighting him, the Kernel poisoned the crackers that he was eating, or the bread crackers that he was eating. And Muscle Chucky, he's so bold and stuff, think he's so bad and he's invincible and all this stuff, that he didn't even realize that what he was eating was poison. And then before you know it, just like that, the Kernel done took him out. So he's down for the count. He's dead. Okay. And he said it. He was like mind over muscle. And it really was that. Like, Muscle Chucky wasn't as bad as he thought he was. Now, going over to the kids, Lexi and Nadine, they actually sneak into Jake and Devin's room through the window, because they're all trying to, basically get ready and prepare to fight the Kernel. Now, something that was a little bit off to me, because through all of this, Lexi was ready to barricade the door, try to, block the Kernel from getting in. But Jake stopped her, but she was just very like nervous, jittery. We know that she has quit cold turkey on the pills, so who knows what her body and her mental is going through right now. Now, what was kind of like a little bit off to me, good Chucky approached her. He was being very nice, but he had that creepiness behind some of his words. And then he offered her some pills, and I'm like, one, where did he get those pills? Two, if you knew that she's trying to get off of taking them, why did you want to give them to her? You know what I'm saying? Like, something was a little bit off about that. Was those pills poisonous? Did he just, from being around Nadine and all of them, he overheard the conversation, and so he knew what she was dealing with, and just in a way of trying to be nice and not necessarily understanding why she needed to be off of the pills, that she's because she's addicted to them. um I don't know if it was ill intent behind him giving her those. So something was off about that to me. All right. Now, um, and he told her it's to help with your nerves. It's like, no, she's addicted at this point. But anyway, now, not too long after that, in bust in the Kernel. Okay, now by the time he even comes through the door, breaks in, all of a sudden, nothing really happened, and he falls out. And guess what? He has a pair of scissors stuck in the back of his head, in the back of the dome. Now, Andy was the one who did it, and thank you, Andy. Don't know how you did that. You snuck up behind him. Don't know what you did, but we like it and we thank you. Okay, so that takes out the Kernel, and that only leaves good Chucky is the only living Chucky doll that we know of. So there's that. Now, at this point, Sister Ruth, she finds Muscle Chucky dead as a doorknob. At this point, this has made her angry. She wants to get revenge. And I'm like, oh man, she's gonna be a problem because one, she doesn't really understand exactly what's going on, and two, we're mixing in religion. She's gonna be not in the right mindset, easily manipulated. All right, now moving on. Now, at this point, we see Dr. Mixter on a phone call, and she's basically telling Charlie to Harry, because at this point there's only one Chucky doll left, and when she said that, I'm like, oh, the good Chucky. They need him, because he wasn't supposed to be the one that was left. He was actually supposed to be dead, but in the end, but it didn't play out that way. So now they're gonna have to flip the script and do something different. And when this is happening, now mind you, Dr. Mixter, I believe, was talking to, oh, I can't remember if it was, regardless of the fact, it was Anika / Chucky, that body. That's who she was talking to on the phone. And well, that wasn't not who she was talking to on the phone. She was actually talking to Glinda. So they all know, they've been in talks with each other. Like I said, I'm like, I'm trying to piece it together, but we gonna get there. So they're trying to rush to get to that school, and now we know what their destination was. So that's what it was. Now, Andy, he goes after Good Chucky. Good Chucky takes off, and Dr. Mixter shows up with a gun to take Good Chucky. She gets him. As she's going off, the Good Chucky, he's like, no, leave me alone. Like, I mean, really just like, he's trying to get away from her. In the process of this now she did like the kids in the room because she's trying to stop them, because she needs that doll. She needs him. Now, as she's doing all this and this is happening, they run into Father Bryce. Now, mind you, Chucky, the good Chucky, he's talking. And she tries to play it off like she's like this well experienced ventriloquist. And they're just like, Father Bryce is like, I'm so confused at what I'm saying right now. Even one of the sisters was there, the nuns was there. She was like, they were just like, okay, are we believing this? Like, what's really happening right now? And he was just talking. While this is happening, Chucky did something, in the Dr. Mixter, something happened with the gun, and it ended up going off, and it shot the nun in her arm. So that happened, and let me see. And then Father Bryce, he's like, okay, what do we do here? Like, do we call the police? And they're like, he's like, no, I think we need to call the Vatican. Like, he thinks that the doll is possessed, basically. So that's what happens. Now Chucky, he runs off. He's trying to get away. Now at this point, I'm like, no, because you have that feeling that something bad is about to happen. So Good Chucky takes off, and Nadine goes after him because she has created this bond with the Good Chucky doll as well, godmother and all of that, blah blah blah. So she takes off. Everybody else takes off after her. No, because he goes up to like it's like a tower or something like an attic slash tower or something kind of sort of. She runs off after him. Nadine. Door closes, so they're like trying to get in there. At this point, he's up there at the window, Chucky, talking, and he's like talking to Nadine, and she's like, "No, you're good. I'm your godmother." And by the time they get through the door and they're going upstairs, Chucky has thrown Nadine through the open window thing, and she lands on a statue and dies instantly. And then, as he's doing that, as throughout the window, he turns around as they're coming up the stairs, and he's like, "Jake, what have I done?" And it's like, okay, this is where I'm like a little up and down with it, because it's like, okay, is he playing her? Has he been playing this the whole time? Or is he truly battling with the evil side versus the good side that the kids were able to bring out of him? And in the mix of fighting Muscle Chucky, it pulled some of that evil side back up, and so he doesn't really have control over what side is going to come out. Um, but they all caught it at the last, or right at the last minute. It was too late because, like I said, Nadine was trying to hug him, and yeah, and that was it. So it sucked that Nadine didn't make it. She didn't make the cut, but we're gonna have to see where it goes from there. Um, I'm really enjoying the series. I enjoyed the first season. I'm enjoying the second season. I'm about to get ready to watch episode 7, and because it came on yesterday, so I'm about to get ready to watch that. I want to thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell button, and you'll be notified when I post another video. So let me get to it so I can get right on back in with the next episode. All right. Bye, y'all, and y'all have a good day.